Is MAC still that girl? Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll be able to determine if she is or if she isn't. I got this idea because 3 weeks ago, Ahima did a video that said, do we still like MAC cosmetics? And I thought this was a valid question. So I'm going to start off by using the Dynessa Myricks Yummy Skin in the shade Universal. This is basically a blurring powder. It can be used by itself, or you can actually use it under foundation, which is what I'm going to do today. Because when I say this does exactly what it says it should do, which is remove all of those pores. Okay, it does just that. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would suggest you go ahead and pick it up and try it for yourself. Alright, so it's time to get into the actual reason we're here for this video, which is none other than the MAC Studio Fluid Fix, okay? And I was shade matched to the actual shade NW55 by Kanisha at my local MAC counter in Dillard's. And I put this on a couple of times prior to me doing this video, and I do love the way the shade matches me. It blends very easily, as you can see there. And it does pair well with the Dynessa Myricks Yummy Skin. So that's a combo, guys. That's a combo that we can use to get a flawless look, okay? All right, up next, I'm using the 24-hour MAC Studio Fix, and this is in the shade NW50. This is their concealer, and she said this would pair well with the actual shade of foundation that she matched me with. Now, I had never used the actual MAC concealer before. I will tell you the consistency is a thicker consistency. So if you're used to using something like Tarte Shape Tape, this one is going to be a little bit thicker than that one. I did let it sit for approximately, 3 minutes before I actually started to blend it out. Now, some of my beauties may be more familiar with this next product because I'm using the Fenty Beauty's Matchstick. The shade that I'm using, of course, is Ebony. If you are a beginner, this is the best kind of contour to actually start with, in my opinion, because it doesn't move as much as a liquid contour. It is also a cream stick, so blending this is easy. This matchstick works well for me. Love the shade, love the tone, love how it goes on. Remember, it is a stick, it's a cream stick, so it's easy to blend and it doesn't go everywhere. What I'm blending it with is the e.l.f. brush because it is the same shape as the IT brush that I use to actually put on my foundation. And what I'm doing, I'm pushing it up and down, pushing it in with that little small e.l.f. brush, just pushing it into my skin. Yes, on the side where I get by my eyebrows, I blend it because I didn't put anything there. I drag it down because of my hairline and my eyebrows. I'm very horrible at trying to explain stuff sometimes, but lift the brush off your face and push the product into your face, if that makes sense, like that. Yeah, that's the best way to blend. Okay, all right. I hope y'all got that. Here's the deal. Now I'm gonna take my damp beauty blender, okay, y'all. Make sure it's damp, run it up under the water, get it nice and soaked, and then squish it out, right? And I'm going to actually blend my concealer in. But this is one of those things that I think I did not pick up from my YouTube University classes, is how to blend in my actual concealer, or how I blend in my actual concealer now, which is to push the blender into your skin, lift it up off of your face, and put it in the next area. Do the same thing repeatedly in small pats all over your face, because you want to make sure that you leave the product in its original place. You don't want to thin it down to where when you get ready to do your setting powder, you're setting bare skin versus the actual concealer. Let me know if that makes sense down in the comments, because sometimes when you say things and you're trying to explain them, it's a little difficult, okay? Next, I'm going in with the Hourglasses Concealer, and this is in the shade Velvet. So the reason I'm using this product is because it reduced the amount of creasing that I have under my eyes. I have used this product alone, and I've noticed a significant reduction in my creases. I know the shade is pretty much the same as the 24-hour concealer by MAC, but that's not what my purpose is for it right now. Just remember that, okay? So now we're going to get into actually doing a nose contour. And what I like to do is go ahead and draw my line down my nose, and of course on my forehead and all of that other good stuff. That's what we normally do, okay? And then once I actually do this portion, I'll take that damp beauty blender that I use to blend out my concealer because it has the same shade of product on it. I'm going to squeeze it to narrow it, and I'm going to blend out only the outer edges of that concealer on my nose. Only the outer edges. Now, further down in this video, you will see me pat the top of my nose, and that's because I applied a little bit too much. You know, sometimes it comes out and it's liquidy. I applied a little bit too much, so it will mess up your blend if you don't take some of that product off. So that's what you'll see me doing later on. But for the purposes of nose contouring, just make sure you only blend out the outer edges of the concealer on your nose, okay? Now I'm going to take that same matchstick and a brush, and I'm going to apply the product to a brush so that I have more control over what I'm doing versus using the matchstick to just apply that directly to my face. And I'm going to brush that product on directly on the side of that concealer. The narrower you make it, the closer you get it to the concealer, the narrower your nose will look. The more away from the concealer you look, or the more spread out you make your concealer, the wider your nose will look. This is why you only blend the edges, because the concealer makes the contour exactly where you want it, and then on the outer edges you place the darker shade of contour, the highlight. Then you place the contour to darken and deepen up that line so that it looks more snatched. It'll give you that snatched appearance. And I'm sorry because I said contour when I was supposed to highlight, but I hope you understand by what I'm doing and a mix of what I'm saying, okay? And then I take my beauty blender. This is a new one and it is damp as well, and I will blend out that contour that I just put on, just to soften it, just the contour itself, not the actual concealer, okay? And that's where I made that mistake. I had a little bit too much concealer, so I'm just taking some of that off. Okay, makes sense? Comment below, let me know. Okay, if you try this, please let me know, because I just want to know. I'm nosy like that, okay? Okay. Now this is something that we always do, which is go back in with our foundation brush and just blend in that line of demarcation between your contour and your concealer. That is all. All right, and y'all know I love my Huda Beauty, and I love the way this smells. And I'm gonna use this to set my under eye, and this is in the shade Cinnamon Bun, okay? So if you're my shade, or if you use me as a reference for shade matching, this will be a perfect highlight color to keep you nice and natural looking. If you want something a little more highlighted, then you should go with Fenty Beauty's Hazelnut. Now what I'm using to put on my actual powder is a brush, because I don't want a lot of product and I don't want it all over where I place the concealer on under my eyes, okay? I want it in a specific area, so I'm using a brush to apply it this time. Yes, you can use a sponge to apply it. That's not a problem. If you feel like you can control that better, I would suggest you do that. What do you guys think? If you're looking at my eyes and wondering what I use to actually create this look, I use the Candy Lady Cosmetics box of chocolate. If you have not already entered into my giveaway, this is one of the products that will be in my giveaway. I use this palette a lot, okay, because it has some neutral colors in there, and neutral is so pretty to me and just so sultry and sexy. So I use the black as my eyeliner, and I also use it in my waterline. So there are a lot of benefits with this palette, and if you have not seen my full face of me doing my makeup with this one palette, you should definitely check out that video at the end of this video, okay? Now, what I'm gonna use for my bronzer today is not Juvia's. It is something new for me, which is the Beauty Bakerie's Bite Size Snackaroonie Bronzer, and this is in the shade Perfect Blend, which to me, yes, it was a perfect blend, okay? I'm using that same brush, that e.l.f. brush that I applied the Fenty Beauty contour with, to apply my bronzer with. I'm using the same method, tapping it into the skin, keeping the integrity of where I am placing my makeup. I don't want the contour directly into the highlight, and I don't want it onto my skin where I place my foundation either. So I'm keeping the integrity by placing it directly on top of where I place my contour. Okay? And now I'm gonna go ahead and set my nose. I'm using the same setting powder from Huda Beauty. I don't know why I have trouble saying that, but I'm using that same setting powder. And I'm gonna take a big old fluffy brush, not the biggest one, but I'm gonna take a large fluffy brush, and I'm going to press that product into my face, pushing it in and brushing some of it off because I don't want to look like a ghost. I don't want to look very powdery. So yeah. And then I'm going to take that same brush that I used to apply my setting powder under my eyes, and I'm going to apply that to everywhere I place the contour or concealer. Sometimes I call it contour, but yeah, I'm so sorry. I always intertwine those, but I'm going to place it actually where I place my concealer. Okay, guys? I'm sitting here looking at me do this, and I'm just looking at the makeup itself, and I'm telling myself, oh my god, this is so pretty. Like, oh my goodness, this is so pretty. This makeup look was so pretty. It came out flawless. Yeah, I don't have filters when it comes to my videos. I'm not privileged to have that, but this looks like a filtered look. Now I'm gonna go in with the Milani, and this is Merlot and I wanted something that wasn't too red, because y'all know I'm good for a good old red, but I wanted this to blend in with my contour. Blend in with my bronzer and just give it a little pop, and I think this did exactly that. Now, I did not bring my setting powder all the way down on my cheekbones because I knew that I was going back in with a blush that was not matte, and I didn't want it to look real crazy by setting this and putting something of moisture or cream. I didn't want to put a cream base on top of the powder, so that's why you saw me before using a brush to put it directly up under my eyes, so that I won't make a mistake with that big old beauty blender, bringing it down lower than what I need it to be lowered, so that I can actually apply my blush and keep it looking seamless and keep it looking pretty. Okay, now if you don't have this, make sure you go cop this. Okay, I can't tell you no amount of times how much I love me some Micro Smooth from Sephora. Okay, this is in the shade Toffee. I use this consistently with my big old elf fluffy brush. It does wonders for lines of demarcation or things that just may not be applied evenly. You know, if you're heavy-handed on one side and maybe not as heavy-handed on the other, this just kind of brings that seamless look to it all. So if I can recommend one product extremely hard, it is going to be to get this to make all of your makeup looks look outstanding. That's the difference. I hope you guys can see it. Don't be afraid to comment below and let me know if y'all think this is or is not something that you would do. Let me know. Ta-da! Beautiful, gorgeous. And like I said before, I love my Candy Lady Cosmetics Assorted Chocolate Palette, honey. Y'all can't listen. Don't miss this one. And like I said, I done hit pan already on the chocolate. And I'm going to apply that under my eye just to add a little more depth and a little more color to my eye. And then you'll see me a little bit further on. I'll go ahead and add some black too, because I just want to keep the eye real sultry. Because, honey, that's just what I do. Praise is what I do. If you have stayed around this long for the video, I definitely appreciate you guys. Why don't you go ahead and hit that like button if you received anything of benefit from anything that I have said so far, or if you plan on trying anything to see if it actually works for you, or if you just kind of like the look, you know what I mean? I mean, hey, you know, give your girl some kudos. I appreciate you, okay? And if you want to, you can go ahead and subscribe to the Wind Down with Lee family. We love to have you here. All right? All right. Let's keep moving. And I'm so sorry, y'all. I forgot that I was recording. And yeah, so I did go ahead and set my smile lines and do my reverse contour with that Huda Beauty setting powder. And again, when I'm doing my smile lines, I'm actually pushing the product in. But when I do my reverse contour, I'm actually sweeping the product off. This is probably the first time you hear me say I'm actually sweeping it off, because I don't want those lines to actually stick and stay on my face. Okay, remember, we don't do lines of demarcation, because that just isn't cute. But we do want some snatchativity. Okay, we want that face snatched to the gods. Okay, so yeah, we do want to make sure that that is still, you know, doing its stuff. And I thought I was gonna go ahead and do my highlight, but then I remembered, no, I need to set my face first before I actually do my highlight. Okay, so of course we're coming back to the MAC products, which we're using the Fix It Stay Over setting spray. One thing that I like, two things I really noticed and like about this, because I have used this before. It's a light mist. Okay, you're not gonna, you know, hurt your face. You're not gonna spray yourself to death and be dripping with water. It is a light mist. It makes me look so natural, so natural. Like, it brings all of the powder and everything together quite naturally, and I love that. Now we're gonna go ahead and use this Kiss Glow and Bronze powder. Okay, if you have not seen my beauty store brands makeup video, I showcased this in that video to let you guys know how I felt about it. So if you would like to know my opinion of this and other beauty store brand products, you can go on over to that video after you have watched this one. And typically when I put on my bronzers, I do like to go over my bronzer with a damp beauty blender, because to me, I feel like the product is just sitting on top of my face if I leave it there with just the brush. So I use a damp beauty blender to make sure that it goes into my skin. Keywords around here that I've been throwing around a whole bunch is into the skin. So just make sure that your makeup is melting into your face as if it is your face. Okay? Okay. Moving on to the lips, honey. My favorite part. Okay, one of my favorite parts. I'm going to be using the Candy Ladies Cosmetics Indulge, and I'm going to be using Juvia's Places. I always confuse to say that. Juvia's Places Scorpio lip pencil to do my to do my lip outline. Okay, now I struggle here with trying to get this camera to focus on the products for you, and yeah, we probably just go ahead and cut to me doing what it is that I do, because nobody wants to lay around for all that. So I had to change the angle, because sometimes I cut off my lips when I'm actually doing them, and I wanted you to actually see me applying the product very well. And I like this combo because it's fall, y'all, and a dark red lip with a sultry eye, it just says hello, look at me. So that's what we were doing when we were doing this lip combo. Okay, we gave a little dark, not too dark, you know, a dark maroonish type color, and then go in with that beautiful vibrant reddish but deep red, not hot red, deep red from Candy Lady Cosmetics, baby. When I say this is a lip combo for you, this is a lip combo for you. Now keep watching. If you have smaller lips, you can overline your lips so that you can make them look balanced. How many of you actually do that, or feel you need that, maybe for your top or your bottom lip, or maybe both? Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, this is it, y'all. As I always say, the final look. Y'all leave me your comments, concerns, complaints. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Alright y'all, this is the final look. Y'all leave me your comments below. Let me know if you like it, if you will try anything that I have said in this video. And if you have not already, don't forget to subscribe to the Wind Down with Lee family. And go ahead and check out this next video here. Okay. Alright. Bye y'all.